Whoa. Hang on a minute. We've jumped straight into race day action here. That's not right. Before we jump into the whole cars racing around the track, the smells, the noise, we need to go back in time. We need to know how we got here, what went into us getting here, all the ups, all the downs, all the things that almost crushed our Goodwood dreams. So sit tight, we're going to step back in time and please enjoy. Back to what I was doing. It's the 9th of March and we're at Oldham Performance carrying out the final power runs before our Goodwood track day that weekend. Everything was going smoothly until it wasn't. Partway through the session, we started to see a noticeable drop in power, followed by a heavy misfire, a sound we're unfortunately all too familiar with. After a compression test and a leak down test, the initial diagnosis pointed towards a failed head gasket, but once we pulled the cylinder head off, the real culprit revealed itself. The edge of the inlet valve had actually broken away. Thankfully, it hadn't caused damage to the piston. We weren't entirely sure what caused it, but the most likely explanation was a simple material failure. Track day fast approaching, John at Oldham jumped straight into action, lapping in a new valve, fitting a fresh head gasket, and running the final power checks to make sure everything was absolutely spot on before we headed to Goodwood. First event of the season. We're here at Goodwood Motor Circuit for a track day in preparation for Goodwood Members Meeting. We're racing the Jowett Jupiter, and essentially we're just using this as a day to bed the cars in, work out some setups, and see what they're like going around the circuit essentially. Learning the lines, learning my braking points, building up confidence in myself because I am a bit rusty. After all, Silverstone was our last race, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Julian's been out in the Jowett all morning, so how was that?
Well, it was pretty good.
Yeah?
It was pretty good, yeah. There was a lot of play in the front upright and that was causing a lot of vibration. That seemed to have been resolved up until late morning. Turns out that the bush that we've replaced seems to have, something's changed, but it's not as good as we would like it to be. The engine just sounds fantastic. It's pulling really, really well.
It does sound very good when it flies past on the start finish straight. It sounds beautiful.
It's got a great noise to it because this is a circuit with, as every race circuit has its own idiosyncrasies. You've all got a.
It's as Ant would say, a big balls circuit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're just
big balls.
And if you're wondering where all the lads are, they're all currently scranning and being slackers and eating their lunch. So, but they have been a great help today, learning lots. We've got some new recruits with us who are learning what you do during a track day.
First experience of a track day. And
so really good.
Yeah,
Let's go.
All good, fingers crossed. Okay.
Well, so post Goodwood track day assessment, if you like. It was a really successful track day for the most part. The car did perform well. However, there were a couple, we hope minor issues with the front trunnion. We were noticing a lot of radial play on the trunnion between the bush and the actual the shaft of the trunnion. So when we were putting our foot on the brake, braking nice and hard into woodcut, we were getting a lot of vibration coming back up through the pedal. So we think the bushes have worn in this trunnion. So we're going to take the trunnion apart, put some new bushes back in, and we're going to have to ream them, put it all back together, and hope that solves that issue. We'll go into a bit more detail about that in a bit later. And then the other issue.
We did a compression test, which is just to make sure everything's where it should be in terms of the engine compression. The left-hand bank, great compression readings, really, really good. Virtually no leakage at all. Right-hand bank, different story. Readings that are around about the 150, 160 mark for both of these cylinders. So that's a concern. So we're losing compression here. A number of different things. It could be the head gasket that's leaking potentially into the water jacket, or it could be the valves themselves. We've checked we've got adequate valve clearance so that when the piston is at top dead center, the valves are closed. So we don't think we're losing compression that way. So we're going to use this tool, which is a leak down tester.
We fed compressed air through the spark plug hole to pressurize the cylinder. With the car in gear, the piston stays locked at top dead center on its firing stroke. Ideally, you want to see zero leakage. But as you can see here, this cylinder is showing around 60% leakage. Not ideal. We had clear signs of air escaping through both the inlet and the exhaust ports, which pointed straight towards poorly sealing valves. And that only means one thing. The cylinder head has to come off, and it's time to start lapping valves. Unfortunately, that also meant sacrificing yet another head gasket. While Julian got stuck into the wonderful, tedious job of lapping the valves, I turned my attention to sorting out the wobbly front trunnion. Okay, so we've taken off the trunnion off the kingpin. Inside the trunnion, we've got some phosphorus bronze bushes. You can see there's been quite some excessive wear on this lower lip. So we need to remove the bush that's here and the bush that's here, and then we have some new ones to put in, and we will then need to ream those to match the diameter of this kingpin. I need to measure and work out the OD of this kingpin. I got some calipers and I got a micrometer. So another busy day in the Crossley Motorsport garage. We're going to walk around and ask the boys what they're working on today. Bloody hell. So Antonio, tell me, son.
Hello.
What are you doing?
Well, we've got this adjustable reamer. We're trying to do a test piece. Essentially, we're trying to ream the bush that goes on the trunnion. But since it's an adjustable reamer with 5 flutes on it, it's quite difficult to get the exact diameter right. So we're going to first do a little test piece bush, which we'll attempt to ream and see how accurate we are with it.
Yeah, so the test bush,
Hopefully
which we're trying to
out.
find in the garage, we'll use that to ensure that we've got the correct sizing on the reamer before we go reaming the real bushes in the trunnion. Speaking of bushes in a trunnion, let's now go over this side of the garage to Anish. Anish, sir.
How's it going?
Again, what we're working on.
So, I'm trying to get this sleeve out of this trunnion. Managed to get that one out yesterday.
Bloody hell, you look like that got hot.
This one's proven a bit difficult, so I used a bit of heat on this one. I want to see if I can get this on without using any heat. But as you can see, it is mullered. And I keep hitting it, and with a bit of luck, it will come out.
Good, good. James Briggs. Look at this man over here. Hello. What are you doing?
Cleaning up the cylinder head so we
Yes.
can try the recently repaired cylinder head and do a new compression test for it. Try and get as much horsepower out of it as possible.
Sam Wilson. as you're on the camera.
Some split pins. Do you know where are the split pins?
They're in the split pin
I
box. It's a bit of a state of the garage. We kind of need to do a bit of a tidy up, don't we? Really. He's trying to find split pins.
Yeah.
To put the hub back on.
Yeah. Putting the brake assembly back on after deglazing and comparing both sides.
Nice. Right. Emmanuel, you're going to need to borrow the mic.
Oh my god, I'm having a lovely time here. I'm just taking some play out of the steering column. But I'm just sat. It's comfy in here.
It's nice and comfy in there, isn't it?
And I'm fun.
Oh, nice. Turn my microphone back, please. And then let's go around to Jack. Well, hello, Jack.
Hello.
You look like you got yourself in a bit of a pickle down there.
I'm basically doing some like Lego or something.
Hey?
So I'm trying to figure out a new position. Oh, that's a nice mic. I'm trying to find a new position for this fuel pump to go.
Okay.
We're looking at getting an AV mount in here to try and solve the fuel surging issues that we were getting out at Goodwood. So just trying to figure out a nice place for it to go.
And that's what everyone's doing in the garage today. With the bushes finally extracted, Ant and Sam could create a little press contraption to fit the new bushes into the trunnion, ready to be reamed. Cylinder head is back on. What we've had to do is it's called lapping the valves. So basically you put some of this grinding paste. This is like 100 years old. You put it onto the rim of the valve here, and then you put this lovely little suction cup onto here. There you go. And then you put that into the cylinder head, and then you do this motion. And we did this for what? 3-4 hours, something like that. And you get a lovely little sort of grinding mark that forms on the valve and the cylinder head, which is matched. And then you get a lovely tight seal. So hopefully when we do compression test now, we should get a compression reading that goes up to about 200. And if it stays there as well, it means it's not leaking and the valves are seated and we fixed the issue. Crank away, please, mysterious man. As you've already seen, we've been doing some performance and power runs since we changed the head gasket on the left-hand bank and since doing the track day at Goodwood. So we're here at Oldham Performance. They very kindly lent us their ramp to do a few checks on the car because we've noticed a slight drop-off in power. We're not entirely sure why this is, but we're going to work that out now. We've noticed a bit of pressurizing of the water system. We've had a bit of water coming out the overflow tube, and also when we put a pressure gauge on top of the radiator cap, we've been noticing water is being forced out of a couple of the joints and the water pump, so that indicates that the whole system is being pressurized. As well, we've had a fair bit of emulsification in the oil cap, so a lot of condensation normally builds up here, but we've also got this horrible sort of white gloopy mixture of water and oil, rather concerning. So that's sort of leading to potentially another head gasket failure. So we're going to do a leak down test. We'll probably do a compression test as well, have a sort of look at which bank it could be. My sort of gut feeling is potentially it's now the right hand bank that's gone. Yeah, we're going to look at that and try and get to the bottom of it. Yep. You'd better believe it. The head gasket had blown. And it's worth mentioning, this isn't the first time one of our Jawa engines has done this. Unfortunately, it's an inherent weak point in the design of the engine block, with the water passages sitting just a little too close to the cylinder liner. So, as I'm sure you can guess by now, it was head off, new gasket on, and even more valve lapping, just to be on the safe side. At this point, it genuinely felt like the car just didn't want to go to Goodwood. Thankfully, after rebuilding the engine for what felt like the 100th time, we finally got there. 4 strong, clean power runs, no misfires, no drama, and we were happy. Good morning, everyone. We are, what are we now? 1 week away from Goodwood, and we are just finishing prepping the Javelin. Now, the reason we're prepping the Javelin is because it's got our spare engine in, and we want to just make sure that everything's tickety-boo and sound on that engine. We're going to get the Javelin out on the road, because it is road registered and road legal, and just make sure the engine is working in order and there's no leaks, head gaskets are holding out. If shit hits the fan at Goodwood, we can swap the engine, put this engine in and get out and be racing for all of you. It's currently got Anish, who's putting the brakes, the rear brakes on, aren't you? Yes. Rear drum brakes on this side.
Glazing them before you put the drum on so you actually brake properly.
Nice. Same on this side. They're working out how they go on as well. It's such a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it?
Yes, but we've solved it.
Nice. We come around to front. No. Come around to front. We had this running yesterday. We had a couple leaks, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, should be a good day. So Anish, yeah, so she's not running quite right. So now Liam is very kindly having to tow us home.
Hello.
Yeah,
it's alright, yeah.
Not ideal. On inspection, everything was actually fine. The culprit was just a loose crimp spade connector on the coil. It had fallen off, which meant we had no spark. But thankfully, nothing more dramatic than that. With that sorted, we could crack on and whip the engine out, ready to take with us to Goodwood. I love cars. It is the Thursday. We are a couple of days out from Goodwood now. We are just getting the Jupiter cleaned. She is looking filthy from the Goodwood track day. There's a load of flies all over her, so she needs to get cleaned. We're going to be loading up the trailer. We're then going to be getting the spare engine in the Land Rover and hopefully driving down to Goodwood tonight for a lovely setup day tomorrow on the Friday. So yeah, stay tuned. So we are towards the end of the day now. I actually have driver briefing relatively soon, and we took the car to fueling and noticed that there was a slight issue with the gear selection. I couldn't get third and fourth, and I was struggling to get second, and then it was really hard to get into neutral. So we're currently now trying to sort out the issue, and basically what we found out is that the gear selector is getting caught on the gearbox casing. So the lads are there with I think we've got a Dremel, we've got a junior hacksaw, and we've got a Linisher, and we're just trying to eke out a bit of the casing to give us a bit more clearance to stop it catching. I think we're almost there. We've got the car jacked up because we're going to start the engine in a bit, run it through the gears and make sure it's all good. But yeah, hopefully it's okay. We've got, and I'll be at driver briefing. We also want to do a run around the track, which would be really nice. I think we'll go and do that soon. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bloody brilliant. Okay, so we just completed qualifying. We did really, really well. There was a bit of drama at the start. There was a red flag because there was, I think, an Allard parked in slap bang in the middle of St Mary's.
The Allard's parked on the track.
I know, I almost went into the back of it.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened? Did he
He's just stopped. As you come out of St Mary's, he's just there. Literally like 3 of us almost went in. The car feels really good though.
You'll probably see on the camera footage, I almost hit them. But we're all good.
Doing a Goodwood probably going to use a void and certainly loses way around anything historic
Qualified 8th. We were 4th for a while, and then I got picked right at the line by a couple Fraser Nashes. However, we've just got back, and there's a couple issues with the car. It's kicking out a lot of water, as in it's filled the catch can. That's not good. We don't know why it's doing it. We're trying to work out now. We're currently doing some compression tests, and then we're going to do a leak down test to try and establish if the head gasket's gone. And by God, I hope it has not. Otherwise, it's a whole engine change, and that's going to be a horrible, horrible weekend. But overall, really good. The rest of the car was great. Brakes were great. Handling was great. And I am so shocked at how well we've done. And yeah, just really, really happy and excited for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. We had an absolute blast yesterday. It was cracking. P8, what an amazing result for the team. Starting on the 3rd row on the outside, going to be a bit of an interesting start. I'll try and send it round the outside, see if we can make up any places. But the cars ahead of us are doing 137s, 138s, so they are a bit out of our reach. Anyway, we're doing some last minute checks on the car, mainly deglazing the brakes. So we'll go in, we'll have a chat with some of the lads, and we'll perhaps get them to just talk through what they've been doing. So let's go this way. So gents, could you just tell us what you've been doing?
We've been doing some brake deglazing.
Yeah. Would you like to explain how that works?
So essentially we just take the drum off. You've got shoes inside the drums that essentially build up a load of brake material, a lot of impurities, so you just try and clean all that off.
Yeah.
So you've got a nice braking surface when you want to hit the brakes.
Yeah. So yeah, we use the emery cloth and the Scotch-Brite to get rid of all of that sort of residue and dust. And then once that's done, we put the drum back on. We're able to then readjust the brakes on these. They're called snail cams. There's a nut there, sorry, a bolt, and then there's a bolt on the other side, and those are called snail cams, and they push the shoe outwards up to the drum so you get a nice firm pedal. I get a firm pedal for 2 laps, and then after that it's gone because that's drummed. It's non-existent. But anyway, it's going to be a good day. A few moments before the race, the Goodwood media team stopped by to ask about the Crossley Motorsport story and our mission. It definitely added a touch of pressure, but it was genuinely encouraging to see them taking an interest in the car and the team's ambitions.
Thank you. Thanks for
Sorry, me again, I do apologise. Another way that this just wasn't our weekend. For some reason, the camera decided to only record the back of the car. So apologies for the lack of forwards footage, but yeah, unfortunately it is what it is. We move on. Please still enjoy. See ya. Okay, we're literally like a few minutes from going out. Yeah, it's pretty tense. I got the shakes, but the boys done a stellar job preparing the car. We're pretty high up. We're currently P8. We've got all these bad boys in front of us and some almighty cars behind us as well. It's going to be an interesting race. I'm just going to try and hold my own top 10 finish. Any words of wisdom, Sam?
Big balls.
Big balls. Big balls. We can do that. We can do that.
The bonnets are.
Understanding what's good. Let's see
Part of the story, isn't it?
That's Goodwood Members Meeting over and done. Unfortunately, didn't end too well. I mean, it didn't start too good. I went into neutral off the start. Well, I was in first, and then as I pulled back into second, it didn't quite go into second, and I went into bloody neutral. Lost a few places through there, but we then got in the rhythm. Car felt really strong, really good, and then towards like the last few laps of the race, she just started to die coming out of Levant, and basically on the final lap, coming through Levant, she she just started to misfire like hell. I thought it was a head gasket that had gone, and signs sort of suggested that it was a head gasket. There was the expansion tanks filled up with water again. The oil cap on the engine had blown off as well, and there was oil everywhere. So we're like, what the hell's gone on? Upon inspection, after doing compression test, that was all fine. Compression was fine. However, our rocker shaft has sheared. This is exactly where the stud goes through. This rocker here would have been sat on there like that, and this has sheared. So what has essentially happened is the exhaust valve has then remained closed, and that has basically pressurized the entire system and blown the oil cap off. So yeah, sad to end that way, but this is racing. It is what it is, isn't it? We learned so much. We had an absolute blast. Hopefully we get to do it again next year.